Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm just going to keep throwing different versions of good morning at you until you stop talking. Thank you. Good morning. How are you? My name is Zach Pettit, and I want to welcome you to 1 Million Cups. Whose first time is it today? Yes. Okay, so off the bat, there's kind of an elephant in the room. Welcome, Lincoln Prep. I think there's a lot of hands over here. Good to have you with you. Good to have you with us. Speaking is hard. All right, so this is our 1 Million Cups team. We got Courtney, we've got Luke, Stephanie, and our good friend Kyle, who is, did we welcome you at the end of last week? Did we sing Kumbaya? We did, okay. So we'll skip over that this week. So what's 1 Million Cups? 1 Million Cups is a nonprofit entrepreneurial event founded by the Kauffman Foundation that brings two entrepreneurs up on stage, gets them to present to you, walk you through their story, and then you're able to poke holes, ask questions, and just kind of find out more about them, right? So how that starts on the question portion is with our expert panel. And I get to introduce my good friend, Mara Picardi first, and then we'll jump over to Jerry.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mara. I actually work with Zach at Bloom, so I'm really excited to be here today. I've been in digital marketing for about 12 years now, doing everything from e-commerce to lead generation to just website analysis, so I'm very excited to be here and ask some good questions.
Hi, I'm Jerry Glazier and completed about a 30-year career in the for-profit and nonprofit sectors, and I currently do some consulting in the areas of corporate social responsibility, civic engagement, and HR.
All right, round of applause. Thank you to both of you for being here. And now the exciting part. We're going to go ahead and open it up to Content Kid.
Is it on? Yeah. Where's the clicker? All right. Good morning. My name is Michael Almack, and I'm here to talk to you today about Content Kid. It's a new way for you to interact with your favorite websites as if you were an annual subscriber. It's also a new distribution and revenue model for content providers, publishers, you name it, any website that has a paywall. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit of business trivia that relates to what I'm going to talk about today. And that is back in 1909, an American entrepreneur named Harry Selfridge was in London, and he pioneered the concept that shopping should be fun. It should be something that you go to one place and there you can buy a variety of products. Before that time, if you wanted to buy, say, cologne, suit, and shoes, you had to go to 3 different stores. Harry Selfridge put it all together and made the first department store. So that's a 107-year-old concept. It's still around today. And there are marketplaces for products, both brick and mortar, of course, and online, with, of course, Walmart, Amazon, and so forth. If you want to buy music, there's iTunes. And if you want to stream movies, you have your Netflix and things like that. But there is no one place you can go or one method where you can be able to have an experience as if you were an annual subscriber behind the paywall of your favorite news site, Consumer Reports, Rivals, ESPN Insider. So that's Content Kid. What do we got here? Okay, meet Content Kid. It is a digital platform that will have a master account with publishers where you will be able to buy for less than a cup of coffee 2, 4, 8, 12 hours in a secure window behind the paywall of the site you want to purchase and interact with that site almost as like an anonymous user. So the paywall, the paradox of the paywall. First came up in 1997. I think it was Wall Street Journal had the first. And it's been around for how long now? And still less than 5% of the revenue of your publishers get their money through paywall subscriptions. Why? Because unless you're really going to use it every day, you're not going to do it. Plus, it's the inconvenience of having to go to that website, have a unique username and password, and so it's just inconvenient. You think you're going to lose money because you're not going to use it every day. The other picture I wanted to put up here was a recycle bin with a bunch of unwrapped newspapers. And we've all had that, right? You've all seen that. So Content Kid will be able to eliminate this issue. It's not going to replace the website, of course, of these publishers. It's just going to be a new way for you to interact with them. So someone's going to do this. I just find it amazing that there hasn't been a solution to this issue thus far. And so being able to get subscriber-only content on an ad hoc basis, people are willing to pay for it. I believe this concept is something that's long overdue and will be very helpful. The issue is people want variety. People want choice. If you're going to put you're going to create a username, password, get your PayPal or credit card information on a website, you would really use it if you were able to go anywhere you want on any given day. And so variety is the key. And so I think with newspapers, journals, magazines, also premium information, LexisNexis Scholastic comes to mind. It's a great research tool. Like I said, Consumer Reports, telemedicine. Also brand new markets, telecounseling, teletutoring. Anyone that wants to monetize their time through their website can use Content Kid. Also, of course, entertainment, sports, gaming, gambling, adult sites. Of course, this whole thing is probably going to start with freelancers, writers, tutors, vloggers. That's where it's going to start. And so that's I gave you the consumer side of the things, the benefit to us. But the providers are in desperate need right now, especially newspapers. Only a single percentage of, maybe 11% of viewers are actual paid subscribers. 65% of all digital ad revenue goes to 5 companies, not the newspaper itself or the magazine itself. Google, Facebook, Yahoo, Microsoft. And in fact, Facebook and Google alone accounted for 76% of the digital ad growth last year. Meanwhile, newspapers lost $800 million. The town where I live in, Wichita, the Wichita Eagle just had to sell their building and their press, and all the printing is going to be done up here at the KC Star, also a McClatchy newspaper. 95% of all the revenue that McClatchy gained by selling the Miami Herald building, which is my hometown, on Biscayne Boulevard, didn't go to like profits or whatever. It went to pay long-term debt and pensions. Okay, newspapers are dying. Also, paywall system and the IT cost for a freelancer or a small-town newspaper to even have a secure website where they can keep subscribers' information secure. It's too costly. Content Kid can be an outsource of that whole paywall system and subscriber system. And of course, this came out just the end of last month. The ad blocking tsunami is upon us, and there's all sorts of wringing of hands and gnashing of teeth in the publishing business because the usage of ad blocking software doubled in 2015. Nobody likes these ads. Okay, Washington Post trying to get around it. This came out 2 days ago. In order for you to see a Washington Post article, even if the article were sent to you by like Twitter or something, you still have to put in your email address. They need to collect something. They need to monetize something. Similarly, the New York Times, I'm almost out. New York Times is having a higher annual subscription where you could actually see their website as a subscriber with no ads, because they know if you're going to see it with a browser that blocks all the ads, they need to make money somehow. So the content providers, new distribution model, new revenue stream. Also, it can refer frequent visitors to a provider. So if someone goes to this one website more than 3-4 days a week, Content Kid could actually refer that person to obtain an annual subscription because obviously they like the content.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
We're going to open it up to our expert panel for questions.
Morning.
So I'm looking at this slide right now. So as a subscriber, I would pay $150 a year to you and access. No. So can you describe
Okay.
your subscriber model? I know you didn't get to finish it, but can you describe that? Because I'm
Okay.
interested in how you monetize.
Basically, the way you monetize it is there may be an annual fee, $20, or maybe nothing. My initial idea with this would be a free site to go to. You have your account. Basically, you would pay the markup 82 cents, or could even be 96 cents, or whatever, for a 2, 4, 8-hour window, depending on what the publisher wanted, of their behind-the-wall site. So you would have a secure window. At the bottom of the window, there'd be a countdown clock. If the New York Times said, well, we'll let you do this for 80 some cents and only for 2 hours, you as a user would be able to pay Content Kid. Content Kid has the master account, would stream. You would be actually viewing the Content Kid subscription for just that 4-hour window. And so you'd pay Content Kid the premium. We would pay the New York Times 41 cents or 50 cents. Plus, we would sell them the metadata of the site. Where when they checked out your site, what else did they check out? And of course, you can monetize that.
Okay. How many do you have subscribers right now?
No, this
live?
is in concept
In
mode.
concept.
I've had I've done a full discovery. Carlos Fernandez Jr., graduate Pipeline, did a full discovery on it. I've also had a patent attorney, John Gibson at Free State Patent Service, do an analysis on the unique transaction. But right now, this is concept.
Okay.
I have a website. That's it.
I have a couple questions. One is the name. How did that come about?
I actually had multiple names for this. Carlos ClutchStudio.io in Wichita, he had a great logo guy named James Dean, and he actually saw the names that I had, and then he went out and he thought of a newspaper boy, and he came up with Content Kid, and it wasn't used.
Okay. Then my next question happens to do with, because it's timed, depending on where you get the subscription, so there's no way to do like just a bulk, like if I wanted 3 hours of content, but I could get it from any of those people that participate. You know what I mean? Versus I have to use the New York Times deal and I get a time for that, and if I want to go to Consumer Report, I would pay for that and there would be a time for that, versus an all-you-could-eat kind of thing where I'd go to multiple sites but have one time slot that I could use. Is that possible?
No, because I think it's all copyrighted material, and every publisher has a terms and conditions. And basically, when you go on Content Kid, you click the New York Times icon, it'll say, okay, we'll give you 2 hours for $1.10 or 98 cents. You click yes, there'd be you agree to terms and conditions that we all just click anyway. That basically you are you are responsible for the copyrighted material, and therefore it's streamed to the New York Times. I mean, it would immediately pop up in your window. And if you were to go under a tunnel or lose your Wi-Fi, the clock is still clicking, but through the app you'd be able to re-engage it whenever you want. If you use less than a minute, say, you wouldn't be charged.
Okay. And then my last question happens to do with the security of the information, because obviously if somebody goes in and puts in their credit card info and all that other kind of stuff, you know, and they're using multiple deals, I suppose there's a possibility that if somebody hacks into that.
Well, we are going to take the responsibility of that. There's new
So that's
technology.
on your end?
That's on my end, yeah.
Okay.
That would be a Content Kid.
I have one last question. So how are you going to attract users? I mean, in terms of this is something that's going to be disruptive. You know, if I click through a Twitter link and go to the Washington Post, they're asking me for my information to log in and access that content. Are you going to be able to superimpose over that to interrupt that experience? Or are you going to try to engage people outside of their normal reading activities?
What I think is going to happen is that publishers are going to use this as a new way to allure new eyeballs, to seduce new eyeballs. And I envision with the negotiation we have with certain publishers, there would be log in as if you're a subscriber just to that site, and then maybe the Content Kid icon or something next to it where you can try it for 2 hours or 4 hours, whatever it is. So that would be one way of doing it. The Content Kid app itself would be there. If we start out with freelancers, you know, these people that have 10,000 viewers on Periscope or something, and you'd be able they'd be able to monetize it through Content Kid. It's going to get around, and when people go to Content Kid and they see all these different publishers, Consumer Reports, you name it, they say, wow, I want to check how much would that cost? They click it and they get it. So there are multiple ways of doing it.
Okay, we're going to open it up to questions from the audience. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Okay, we'll come back to you. The guy in the blue.
Yes, ma'am.
I can see a lot of value in the data that you would generate and potentially analyze and provide back in reports. But I can log on to my account at the library and access all but the adult content. So what would incent me to use your service?
Through the website, the library website? Well, it would almost be, it would be the same thing, except I think there would be more variety through Content Kid. And also, I don't know if there's any limits to what your library will do. But this would be really for people on the road. This whole thing came about when I was in an airport for a long period of time. It was a layover. I didn't have small change, didn't want to use a credit card for to buy a newspaper. And I envisioned this kiosk. It was like an ATM. You'd walk up to it, you'd log in, and you'd be able to download on your laptop today's paper. And I said, why doesn't that exist? And so that's the genesis of this. That was back in '06. This has been in my mind. This has been a pebble in my shoe for a long time. But yeah, it would be similar to that. Why isn't that popular? I don't know. But I think people are clamoring for this, and it's the variety is what's going to be attractive.
Question on your left.
So the biggest reason that I read all the different news articles and have certain subscriptions is more for the following that I have via Twitter, LinkedIn, what have you, as a kind of a curator of information. So there's people that, like me, like cars and different business aspects and what have you. How would your model allow for the resharing of content?
Well, that's something that would not be allowed because the way you're going to get the publishers to even buy into this is them being assured that the person that buys it, the ID of their device that they're using is part of that packetized delivery. So there's no way your name is John or something, you would be able to send it to 10 of your friends and they'd all get this 2 hours at the same time. So that wouldn't be it, I think. And the other sort of, not negative, but other aspect of this that you wouldn't have by being a subscriber on the site is that it wouldn't remember your favorites. Because every time you would log in using this, it was as if you were a brand new user. You'd be able to go in and do whatever you want. So YouTube Red, for example, people may still want to use it through Content Kid, but many people really like their favorites and also to be identified in the chat rooms on these websites. I know the sports websites like Rivals.com, everybody's talking about recruiting or whatever it is. You would be, if you were to comment on it, it would just be a number because it would be basically Content Kid is the reason why you're even looking at it. So.
In the center.
Nice presentation, Michael. A couple of quick questions. One, for someone that publishes things like via LinkedIn or on their blog that's more related to their business, maybe even someone that looks exactly like me, is that something that the service would be good for? Or are you looking just at the larger publishers? And secondly, it sounds like you're kind of in proof of concept right now. Have you done any market research or had conversations with any of the bigger publishers to kind of see how you go forward next?
I think the publishers, I actually got to talk to one of the VPs at McClatchy in California, and he had somebody respond to me 45 minutes later saying, no, they couldn't get the idea, well, we have these day passes already. They didn't get the idea that the reason why this would work more than what they're trying to do already and that's not working is the variety. Being able to go into one website, one login, to be able to access that. So I think this whole thing, if it's going to get started, would be through freelancers, small town newspapers, and also things like teletutoring or telecounseling, things that we don't even think of. These could be new markets through this sort of technology. So it would start with a small, I think, And then once people saw how it could work, you would get the buy-in.
Question on your right.
Yes.
So it seems like you're kind of giving a lifeboat to a dying industry.
Yeah.
And so you could argue that the industry is dying because of the paywall or the technology or whatever, or you could argue that it's dying because the idea of journalism as we understand it is being disrupted. And the idea that, we're going to start getting our news through Snapchat instead of, through New York Times. I mean, I'm talking 10, 15, 20 years. So how are you going to compete with this kind of very significant disruption of journalism and how we consume it and what the direction that this industry seems to be going?
Yeah, the reason why I'm here is I want to get this pebble out of my shoe. I don't know if it's a little rock or a diamond. And the other thing is I really do care about journalism. People do care about it. I care about it. And I want everyone in here who's got some gray hair, if they can remember 2000, 2001, when you can get whatever music you wanted for free. And then all of a sudden iTunes came around and like, no way, we're not paying for music, this and that. But then iTunes allowed you to buy single songs. And now, talk to young kids today, they can't even believe there was a world where you get music free. Journalism costs money. And we are destined to repeat some dark history if we don't have the watchdog of any democracy, which is the free press. So I'm very passionate about it. If you were to go to NeimanLab.com, you'd see they're talking about the ad blocking technology. And it's like, look, journalism, people want it. People want to know the truth. What's in our water? Is milk really milk, or is it melamine? All these things, you never know. It takes the press to do that. So I'm on the side that journalism, people do care about good journalism. And right now, the way things are going, the newspapers are making money through algorithms and AI making up these stories that have to do with really a product, and it's not really news. I think it's very scary, and I think people aren't buying it.
Question in the back.
Yeah.
To follow up on Ben's question, there's no doubt that there's problems in this industry. I mean, and so it's interesting to see you play in that. What's unclear to me is who your actual customer is and what problem you're solving. Are you solving a problem for the content publishers, or are you solving a problem for the content readers?
Both.
And if you're solving them for both, that makes it harder. I could think of all kinds of problems you may be solving for either one, but I'm not necessarily hearing it. So I'd encourage you to share with us what problem are you solving for the content publisher, and what problem are you solving for the content reader?
Well, with the content reader, anyone who's aggravated when they get, you've had your 3 free views per month, can I see a raise of hands? You aggravated with that? Also, being able to only see the first paragraph of an article that you really check out, and you're like, dang, maybe I'll find it somewhere on Yahoo. I think there's a real need. If you can see the whole thing, some weeks of the year, you want to read the paper all the time, you have the time. Other times you don't. So it's a convenience thing, and it's a solution for being able to get good stuff. And on the publisher side, this is a brand new way to get the eyeballs and the money that you would not receive otherwise. Right now, publishers get their money 2 ways. Diminishing ad revenue, which I've showed you, Google and those guys are making most of the money, and a small number of people that actually subscribe. Other than that, maybe they're selling the metadata. But newspapers especially, it's mostly acute. But I think all kinds of, gaming, you get the adult entertainment thing. I think there's going to be big sectors that are going to be a lot more popular than others. But it's a solution. That's why I think this is going to work. It's because you have 2 solutions.
Question, front right.
Hi. Excuse me. So I am definitely a big fan of journalism. I like the New York Times a lot. I'm also a starving entrepreneur. So I don't pay for it, and their paywall is really easy to get around. Right? So when I saw this, I was thinking, oh, great. For 82 cents, I can go for 2 hours onto LexisNexis and download, screenshot, copy, paste, do whatever I need to get all the articles I need for like 20 hours of reading.
Right.
What do you do about people like me?
That's just the way it is. I mean, on the radio, you could record all the music you wanted, or on the internet you can record, and as long the infringement comes when you then send it out to 20 of your friends or whatever, where you are redistributing copyrighted material unlawfully. But right now, it's the same question: why would I pay an iTunes for the music when I can listen to it on Spotify? It's the same kind of thing.
I listen to it on Spotify.
Yeah. But I think this, for less than a cup of coffee, I think the barrier is fairly low. I mean, and for small town newspapers, it could be less than 75 cents, and you can get maybe a whole day.
Question in the center.
Yes.
You mentioned iTunes and music being downloaded per song, and so when people first started using iTunes, they didn't pay for 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours. They just picked the songs they wanted and paid for those songs 99 cents a piece. So why not just charge per article?
That already exists. If you look up Blendle, Blendle, it's a Dutch company. There they have this agreement with only magazines and newspapers, where if you like this article in The Economist about whatever, you can buy that for 18 cents euros. The difference between that, and people have asked me, what's the difference between you and Blendle? Well, with this, you get hours, and you can go from sports section, or you can go anywhere on that website as if you were an annual subscriber, and not just the article. So there's two different markets. Some people will like that, and maybe people in here will check that out. Blendle.com. In fact, New York Times invested in it. So that already exists, but this is going to be more of a full experience, video, you name it, whatever's on that website behind the paywall, you'd be able to enjoy for a number of hours.
Cool.
Question on your right.
You mentioned that it doesn't remember me coming in tomorrow versus today.
Right.
There is no way in the world I'm going to get my credit card out and give that every day
No,
or
no.
every 3 or 4 hours.
No,
How
no,
can
no,
it
no,
remember me if it doesn't remember my credit card number?
You're paying. You would pay Content Kid, and then when you're on the web, you would go right to the website without having to do anything. You don't have to sign in or anything.
But if
on
your
that
site
website.
doesn't remember me
Yes, it
tomorrow,
would. Yes,
oh,
it
I
will.
thought you said earlier it didn't.
No. The New York Times, whatever you pick to choose, let's say it's SportsIllustrated.com or Consumer Reports or LexisNexis. I'm thinking of YouTube Red, for example. It wouldn't. You would pay to get it. You get the window, the pop-up with a countdown clock at the bottom, or wherever. It wouldn't remember that you came in there yesterday, YouTube, and know that it's you again, because all they know it's a Content Kid feed.
So you remember?
Of course, yes. We would remember, and it'd be one place to do it all. So is that it?
All right, yeah, let's ask you the final question. What can we as a community do for you?
Yes. Looking for investment advice. I believe there's a professor of journalism and innovation from KU who's here, maybe, Professor Williams. Going to speak to him after. But I'm looking for constructive feedback. The library thing got me intrigued, and a few other questions. I'm also looking for a team. I can't do this by myself. So I'm willing, I want this to happen. And whether I take a minority stake in this or not, I just want to see it happen. And also anyone with connection to either publishers or individuals who want to monetize their content. That's what I'm interested in. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
I'll ask Michael Almack.
All right, it's time for a couple announcements, and then we'll do the Mug Club and get back to it. So Kayla Smalley with the Lean Lab.
Hi, guys. So for all of you who don't know what the Lean Lab is, we are a nonprofit incubator located in Westport. I came a couple weeks ago and announced that we were looking for entrepreneurs focused in education for our fellowship. And our fellowship has begun, so I wanted to introduce to you guys some of our teams. We have 5 this year, and 4 of them are from other places in the United States, which was really exciting. So I'm going to pass this off to them and have them introduce themselves.
Thanks, Kayla. Good morning, everybody. My name is Angie, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Ooh, go Chicago. Very excited too. We should talk afterwards to bond. So I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I am here with Team Enreach. Did you want us to talk about our venture, Kayla? I missed it. Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm here with these 2 fellows closest to me, and we are here to innovate solutions to help prospective college students find their place in higher education. So right now, there aren't a lot of resources in some schools for students to talk to college counselors. There are some obstacles in the way for high school students to really find the college that is right for them. This might lead them to drop out of college and waste money and stuff like that. So Zach, our CTO, is working on creating a really great platform to allow high school students to connect with a college student directly on campus, to ask them the real truthful questions that they can't get from an admissions office, or that they can't necessarily find out from a website. So it's a peer-to-peer platform, which is really fun and dynamic and engaging. We've tested in Chicago. It was a great success. We won a startup weekend. That's where we actually met. And so we are beta testing again this Friday at a couple of high schools here in Kansas City. So if anybody here has any knowledge about high school students here in Kansas City or college students, I'd love to chat with you to learn some more, or admissions, especially admissions departments. All right, thanks.
I don't need to introduce myself besides my name now. Thanks, Angie. I'm Zach, also from Chicago. Very excited to be here, and thanks for welcoming us to this great event.
And I'm Jamie, also from Chicago, also Team Enreach.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin, and I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. And I'm part of the team at PledgeSense, and we're a crowdfunding platform that's looking to democratize the way that communities invest directly back into their classrooms. And over the past year and a half, we've been lucky enough and successful enough to reinvest $500,000 in classrooms across 48 states. So we're looking here to grow our market here in Kansas City, Missouri. So if you have any connections with principals, charter schools, public schools, anything like that, reach out. So that's PledgeSense.
Hi, I'm Thierry. I'm from DC. I'm with ClassTracks. ClassTracks is a blended learning platform for foreign language teachers. We think it's unacceptable and avoidable that many adults in the US who've taken many years of foreign language actually can't hold a conversation in that language, and we're working with teachers across the country to fix that by building tools to support teachers starting in middle school and high school. I'll let, so if you are at a school and can connect us with a teacher or a school leader at a school that would be interested in working with us, please see us.
And hi, everyone. I'm Lita, also with ClassTracks.
Bob King with Team MeDo. I'm from the Kansas City area, Leavenworth. 2 of our team members not here are Doug from Independence and Bryce, a physics teacher from North Kansas City High School, and we're revolutionizing nutrition education in K through 5 because they have a lack there of making the right choices in what they eat.
I'm Nadia. I'm from St. Louis. I'm also part of Team MeDo.
Hi, my name is Rainey. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. For the past 3 years, I've been teaching down in Jackson, and I've seen a real disconnect between what goes on in the classroom and what gets sent home to parents. And so my venture is Bridge, and we are creating a platform that provides parents with more transparency around the academic content that's going on in the classroom. So if there are any parents or teachers in here, I would love to connect.
Thank you very much. Let's hear it for the Lean Lab. Making education better. All right, one more announcement from Blake Brock with the Conato Group.
Yeah, Luke already knows about this one. So good morning, guys. My name is Blake Brock. I work for a company called Conato Group. We specialize in customer experience, and we started a monthly networking event centered around customer experience. So every month we bring in one fantastic speaker, a great local craft beer, and a local wine. And we listen to that speaker, and we network, and we learn more about customer experience. For this month, Think Big Partners is hosting our event, You guys might know our speaker. Actually, Luke Wade is going to talk to us about how he grew his companies and how he treats his customers. We're going to pull in Boulevard Beer and Somerset Ridge Wine. So it's this Friday, think big, from 2 to 3:30. More information, we're actually on the announcements packet for today, so you can find more on that blurb. You can reach out to me, and I've got a couple of folks here that will pass out cards and answer questions for you guys afterwards. Thank you.
Thanks, Blake. Yeah, hope to see you guys there Friday. It'll be fun. And if, I don't know about great speaker, but I'll definitely be talking and there'll be beer, so definitely show up. All right, if you've been to A Million Cups more than 10 times, raise your hand. If you've already got one of these amazing mugs, put it down. All right, right here. Let's, we got a winner. Let's hear your name and why you come to A Million Cups.
Appreciate it. So Matt Burkhart, and originally came because when I first moved here about 3.5 years ago, my 70-year-old grandmother had heard of 1 Million Cups starting up, and she said, "I think you would love this," and there you go. And so almost every Wednesday since I've been here.
Thank you very much. All right. Our next presenter from Title Farm is Justin McClure.
Okay, thanks for having me. Title Farm is a social media tool that converts your still photo into a 5-second video by adding custom animated content to it to create a 5-second video. So why is this important? Videos are getting 3 to 5 times more engagement on social media. Facebook is currently competing against YouTube for video content providers, and so they're pushing that content to the front. And there's over 8 billion videos that are going to be watched today alone on Facebook. And by 2017, 74% of the content you'll see on Facebook will actually be video content. And last but not least, humans' attention span is equal or rivals that of a goldfish, which is 8.9 seconds. So these are all important facts, but none of them have anything to do with why we created Title Farm. My background is in advertising and broadcast design, and I worked at these companies before starting my own company in 2007. We were a very small studio. There's 3 of us, including myself, a couple interns, and I should say a couple freelancers, and 3 summer interns. And we focus on animation, video content, video production, and broadcast design. And we take the technologies, the emerging technologies, and apply that to all of those. And that's why in the end of last year, we were actually published as the new model for small shops, small creative shops from a motionographer. And so we've been blessed to work with a host of large national clients throughout the last several years. But I've always had a passion to work with folks like these guys. Small local startups, new beer, craft beer, barbers, you name it, the kind of people that make your town your kind of town. These are also the people that typically have no advertising budget. So how do we work with these folks doing amazing content, animation, and still keep the lights on? We had to reinvent the way we were publishing our content. We had to look outside of TV and the normal way that we distribute our videos. So we created Title Farm. Here's a quick preview.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. You're welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You can fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.
So Title Farm is a completely free and open platform. And you can upload your own animations to the site and then distribute that on Title Farm and use it via the app. So you can share it. You can also make it public or private as well. And this is all completely free at this point. So you can upload whatever you'd like, as long as it includes an alpha channel, and I can go through all that here in a second. The one thing that I want to make sure that people know, and this is where things get confusing at, this is designed for animators and designers to upload custom animated content to the site to then share or distribute to anybody they want to, okay? So the first question I get is, well, can I animate inside a Title Farm and create my own titles and use those? And the answer is no. This is why we're a unique platform. We're actually built for designers and animators for what we do. So right now, anybody can upload to the site. They can, again, put this up there both publicly or privately and use this content over any photo that they want to use. So here's the part of the presentation where I ask for crowd participation. If you have an iOS device, an iPhone, I ask you to, if you wouldn't mind, please download the app. It takes just a few seconds to download and enter in promo code KC. So I'm going to, for the sake of time, I'm actually just going to go through a screen capture that I did last night. So here is how Title Farm works. I'm going to enter in promo code KC, and it's going to bring up a bunch of fun Kansas City stuff. If you visited Boulevardia this weekend, there's some stuff there. If you single click on the windows, it'll show you a small preview. But if you double tap, it takes you to a larger preview window, and you can select a photo from here. And here I'm going to select a photo. I can adjust that photo slightly. And then I also have there's some very simple filters in here that simply darken or add color filters over it so we can see the text, see the animation, so it shows up on the photograph. And it renders very fast. From here I can go into Instagram and share this content on Instagram. And I can color it to my heart's desire and do all those fun things before I publish it. So this next example is going to show you how to do it via Facebook, publish via Facebook. And so again, small previews, I select this Westport animation, and I have a very good friend of mine from high school that owns a shop called Clothes Minded, and is in Westport. And so anyways, you can again darken the photo slightly so the text shows up, and you'll see how fast this again renders. It takes just a few seconds to actually process. And now I'm ready to post. Now this time I'm going to go to Facebook by hitting the More button, and I'm going to publish it via Facebook. One thing you should know about Facebook, by default, uploading to any kind of videos to Facebook is not on HD. So if you go into your Facebook settings, you want to make sure that video upload HD is actually on. By default, it's not. And I got to tell you, when you upload any kind of video and it looks like crap on Facebook, that's why, especially your mobile device. Okay, so that's a thing that took me a little bit to figure out. Yes? Promo code KC. So we've tried to make this as simple as we can to share the content. It's a free download, a free app. There is no sign up and there is no login. So we're not asking anybody to do anything to use the app at all. We want to make it super easy for anybody to share your content, especially if you're creating custom content for them to share.
Just time to take questions from our expert panel. Sorry to cut you off there,
that's
but
okay.
6 minutes.
Okay.
Well, thank you for the presentation.
Yeah.
You mentioned wanting to get out and get in front of small businesses or maybe people just starting up. Talk to me a little bit about that. Like, how do you think that's going to really help them leverage social media marketing? Where do you see it going? Do you think it's just going to stay with small businesses?
Good question. There's a lot of different focuses that we have right now, and we're trying to figure that out. So it's growing legs, and we're crawling every different direction. The good thing is it's growing legs. We originally met with a lot of our clients that we currently have, and we had templates, and we were working on this kind of template mode. And all of them came back and said, "That's great. They're really cool. Not my font, not my colors, not my brand. So I'm never going to use that." So we made sure we focused on what we do best, was creating custom content for our clients. We also reached out to a few of these folks and said, "Do you know who we are and what we do? And why haven't you engaged with us?" And they're like, "Yeah, we see your clients, we see what you do, but we automatically assume we can't afford your services." And they were right. They were like, "What can you do for a couple $100? And the answer was nothing. So we tried to figure out what we could do for a couple $100, and the lowest common denominator was, we might be able to animate your logo for an hour or two. And that kind of stuck. And so we thought, well, what else could we do? We could animate hashtags, we could animate anything else we wanted to for these clients and come in at a lower price point. So we expanded our creative services by allowing us to do this. You no longer needed $15, $30, $100,000 to create a commercial spot. We could do this in an hour with your logo, and then you could reuse it whenever you wanted to via social media and from your mobile device on the go. So I'm not sure if I kind of danced around your question, so make sure I answer it.
You did. Thank
Okay.
you. My second question to kind of piggyback off of that is there's a lot of services where me as a freelancer, I can upload something that someone else can use and I, can get money from that. So I might upload an animation and,
Right.
a small business might use it. Is that where you think the platform's going to go in terms of monetization? Or
You're-
can you speak
yes,
to that?
you're exactly right. So right now we're in the process of wanting to connect the people that want their animated logos, right, and the people and then the designers and animators who do that kind of work. And we're trying to create a marketplace so those people can connect and also create content. So we're also leveraging the folks who want to be on the site as animators or designers to publish content to the site to be qualified to be a designer on there too. So that's the way we're going to create content for the site as well. But we want to keep the content that's on the site completely free. We want anybody to use it on a regular basis. So there's going to be fun stuff. There's going to be holiday stuff, Happy Father's Day, whatever it may be. But we're also hoping that bigger players that want to share their business are on there as well.
My question happens to do with the actual images and things of that nature. Who actually owns the proprietary content?
Right,
So
right.
if you get a small business says, hey, I want to do something with the Royals,
right?
And there's all kinds of issues with trying to do that, and they come to you and say, hey, we want to take this image, we want to
Right.
make a video of it, and we want to put some company stuff on there that helps us. Who says no, you can't do that?
Right. So our legal is basically like YouTube or anything else. So we have the right to take it down or whatever we do. If someone distributes it, that's them. That's on them, right? So if John Smith distributes a Royals logo and whatever, we can take it down, But anybody can post. I can get on anywhere, the website, whatever. Just look up photos and Google, and I can post whatever I want. So that's not really the issue. I think what you're talking about is maybe it's a school or somebody affiliated with a national organization, and next thing you know, there's a person mooning them with that logo, right? But you can do that right now, right? And so anybody can create that content if they wanted to, whether we exist or not. So,
I see all the positives to it, but I also think there'll be people that will
Sure.
take it and
twist it, sure.
Yeah, and I had a bad experience at a restaurant, and here's a video.
Right,
kind
right.
of thing.
And those people that really want to do that are going to do that no matter what, whatever tool's out there. Because those tools already exist. Photoshop, After Effects, those all exist. So, yep.
2-second delay. All right, we're going to go ahead and open it up to the crowd. We got Chris leading us off.
First of all, it's one of the better presentations that I've seen. I really like the video, so thank you
you
so much.
Thank you.
I just was curious how long before this is available for Droid users?
Soon. We're still working on it. Right now, we're working on the desktop version of this. So you can drag and drop the photo from your desktop on there and upload add any animations that you want to. That's going to be part of the resource and part of the tools and code that we're going to be applying to the Android version. So we're building that first as more of a desktop version. So that's our focus right now. But the answer is as soon as possible. I hope before the end of the year. I really do.
Up here on your left.
Okay, so I have a couple questions, and I don't know if it was asked already, and I apologize in advance if it was, but usually on websites like this or apps like this, usually when you upload a picture, it will have the company's logo, and it'll be like always ruining the picture, like smack down in the middle, like extra big, just ruining it, or it'll be like off to the side, just irrelevant. So I was wondering, like, is that going to be the case?
No.
It's not.
This was built on passion and what we do extending our creative services. I didn't build this app to make money, and I know that sounds stupid to say that. We built this platform to extend our creative services, so people come to us and ask us to build creative content for them, and we were giving them a tool to redistribute that content in a way that was easy for them and also easy to share with their customers, their fans, their whatever. So all the people I've talked to, yeah, stamp it and do all this stuff and charge them $1.99 to remove it. And we're just completely open right now. And everything's free. There's no charge for any part of it.
That's great because I be struggling with them websites. It's like you have to pay like so much money you have to pay so much money just to get their stamp off
Sure.
of it. And I feel like that was like doing a lot. So this is good.
Thanks.
Question in the back on the right.
Yeah, hello. Love the presentation.
Thanks.
First question is, I'd like to talk to you about who did your promo video, because you did. All right, man. I definitely have a question for you about that after. I own Great Jackson Media Group. I manage and represent artists, songwriters, publishers. I'm looking to launch, and I definitely want to talk to you about animating my logo and whatnot. I think that's great. I'm definitely interested in that. Also, from the artist side, it's all about content and constantly delivering content onto social media. What about new singles coming out? Taking a CD and a CD cover, animating it, putting it out, logo, putting it out, any of that kind of stuff as far as being able to constantly implement new content.
Right. So as long as there's someone to create that content, the only restrictions are that we're at 1080 by 1080 right now in a square format. Eventually we'll open it up, and that it's only 5 seconds long. Right. Essentially, those are the only restrictions. We can create flames, fire, lasers coming out of cat's eyes, whatever you want to create, that reveals a photo. And we do have the technology, which is the next question is probably going to come up, when are you going to include in video? We've already got the technology there. The problem is that it's taking so long to do 4K. Like Apple introduces these great tools that are heavy. And so we've got the technology to actually do a 5-second video with the animation on top, but because it takes so long, Apple's saying, no, that's not working, so they're not allowing us to do it. So we have the technology in place.
Question here in the middle.
Hey, Mark Serrano from Mixtape Monkey. I actually, my site believes in the no login, no sign up thing, so I really appreciate that. I was going to ask about the video because sites like Musical.ly are coming up, and kids want to lip sync and sing the new singles, but I feel like that would be the next step. Are you going to implement with Musical.ly? Are you going to implement with video? How long would these things be in the future?
Yeah. So we're trying to focus on steps, just getting the Android version out and things of that nature. Music's definitely in there. Video's in there. I don't know about the lip syncing and everything else, but people just recording themselves doing whatever they want with an animation playing on top or wherever. Absolutely. I mean, and like I said, it's all there. It's just a matter of getting everything implemented. We are extremely small. I mean, this is myself, 2 other people, and they're not even working full time on it. I mean, I have a whole other studio that I'm running. So, and then I have a freelancer who's doing primarily most of the code. And so we're getting to the point now where people are starting to gain interest, and I think that's where we're getting excited going, okay, as we start to build, we need to start implementing these things, but we need a bigger team. We really need to figure out what next steps are there.
Okay, I like the business model, and you're doing everything right.
Right, so everything's
I'm
been
just letting
super
you know you're doing everything right.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, we got a question in the back. Do you see the microphone, Justin?
Yeah.
Back here, coming from Megan.
You can't, I'm too
jump
short.
up and down.
No way. Yeah. Okay, so just a clarification. So the overlay is what's animated, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and then so just a stagnant photo, no video option, correct?
As of right now, yes.
Perfect. Okay, so is the video, the video overlay, is it customizable or just what you have available as the template?
So it is not customizable.
Perfect.
I cannot just retype whatever I want in there to say whatever I want to say. There's plenty of apps out there that already do that, and that was where we stayed away from. And I'll explain more. As these started to come out, I was like, oh, I can animate on this app. But as an animator, I was like, this sucks. I can't do what I want to do. I can't add all the special effects that I know how to do. I want to use After Effects, and I want to export out of After Effects as a file that I can upload to a website that I can use on any photo I want to or redistribute however I want to. So that's how we're unique, is the fact that we're really built for designers and animators to create content, custom content for their clients. Does that help?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can't see her, but she's shaking her head, feeling very
Okay.
good about that answer. So, yeah, we're great. Luke, you got a question up
Yep, over here to your left.
Hi, my name
Hi.
is Akenia. My question is, where did you get your profit from? Like, how does it all benefit you
Right.
with dealing with money?
Like I said, this helps extend our creative services. And that gentleman over there said, I want to talk to you about that video I just created. So it's already, it's not just the app, right? There's multiple ways. We create custom content. That's what we do on a daily basis. No matter if Title Farm exists or whatever exists, that's what we do. So we are hopeful that somebody sees this and goes, oh man, we have an event coming up. We'd love you to animate 9 different things for us for this event. Use promo code ABC, and so all of our users can distribute that social media wise and have our branded whatever all over it. And I'm hoping that they hire us. But they don't have to. They can hire their 14-year-old nephew, who I keep hearing all about, who's an amazing designer and animator, right? Or niece, right? So it's a completely open platform at this point. But we're hoping they come to us.
Okay, one more question.
Yes.
So later down on the line, is there any chance that you will charge customers for this app?
I think what we're going to do is try to unite, because we're a small team, so we're going to try to unite the people who want their animated brand with the designers and animators who are capable of doing that, and take a little bit off the top for making that connection. Does that make sense?
Yes, okay.
So that we have hundreds of thousands of people doing work, and we stay small.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you.
Question in the back in the middle here.
Hi, I was wondering, are you going after high schools for this app? Because I know a lot of girls, specifically at my school, would love to use this on their Instagram. Is that something that you're looking at, or
Yes,
not so much?
all of them, everybody. No, one of the things that we're really focusing on is I wrote on the whiteboard just last week was focus on the fanatics. And fanatics right now, even if it's a Little League baseball mom or whatever it is, but we're focusing on sports and schools because it makes sense for Title Farm, title being a championship, farm being all these farm animals, the bulldogs, the cats, the whatever, right? So there's a connection there with sports, and people are fanatic about posting those kinds of things. But we're completely open too. So as we start to create more content internally for people just to see it and use, we'll be creating more sports, grip it and rip it. I mean, just more those types of things to get people to use it. So, but yeah, the Panthers, the Cats, the whatever, KU Jayhawks. We did a rock chalk thing during the basketball deal, and Lawrence saw it and they picked it up, and there was like 7,000 views on it within like a couple hours. It was cool. I was like, wow! And they hashtag Title Farm, and that was cool. So, and we didn't use the Jayhawk. We didn't use the KU font. We just said, hashtag rock chalk and had some fun animation. So we're staying away from the rights of which you talked about, and we're tiptoeing around it, if you will. But there's nobody that really owns hashtags or those types of things. Not yet, anyways, I don't think. So,
Thank you so much. Our final question, how can we as a community help you?
I would love to talk with anybody that's a small business owner who's at that next step where they're like, you know what, I've got my business cards, my website, but I don't have an animated brand. I don't have an animated logo. And I'd love to talk to designers and animators who are possibly here because I'm trying to figure out how to connect those two. And I think that's the biggest thing right now. The other thing is just using the app. Have fun with it. I'd love to get feedback. We're getting ready to release our next version this week, which will have more search options, and we give it more of a Pinterest type look. I know I'm talking, rambling, but I think right now it's building the community and finding out how many small businesses really want this type of creative, and how many people are out there that want to help those people create that creative. for the site.
Awesome. Thank you. How about one more round of applause for both of our presenters today? Thank you all for coming as well. We hope to see you next week, same time, same place for EDU Lawn Service and Pet Perch. Have a great Wednesday, guys. See ya.